Israel News viewers, I'm Oriel Moran. This is Levi from Discover Israel Tour with Levi. Levi, where are we and what are we doing here?
We are floating above the Elah Valley, where we're going to tell the story and understand, relive King David and Goliath. Then it was just little shepherd David, how they battle and what that did for the Jewish people.
It's an incredible story. Let's go.
Look, there in the valley, King Saul. What are we going to do about that giant man taunting us? 40 days and 40 nights just standing there, threatening to take the pride of our God. Where is the glory of our God? This was a daily basis as a Judean standing here around 3,200 years ago. Before me is Emek Ha'elah, the Valley of Ha'elah, and I'm standing on top of Tel Azekah, a site which dates back to the early Iron period. As you can see, there's a big valley in front of me which acts as this geographical borderline between the Philistines and the Judeans. We're on the Judean side. So David comes and he sees this scenario of what's happening. He asks if he can take the battle. King Saul then gives him his own armor and his own sword and his own helmet, and he says, "May God be with you." So then King David eventually goes out. Then he takes his slingshot, whips his slingshot around, he hits Goliath smack in the head. He then takes Goliath's sword and slices his head off and trophies it back to Israel. The Israelites are standing from this viewpoint, they're in total shock. They can't believe what they've just seen. This was a battle of gods, which means if our God was more powerful, it doesn't matter who we sent down there. They will then become our slaves afterwards because we managed to conquer that one representative of their God. All the Israelites saw this from this region. They raced down into the valley and they flush out the Philistines and chase them out of the land of Judea back to their cities of Gat, Ashkelon, Ashdod, Ekron, and finally one of their major cities was Gaza. You could just imagine the sense of freedom once we have conquered this back and pushed the enemy on our front doorstep. Right beneath me here, we can see some of the ruins from the city of Azekah during the period of time of that story. These vertical and horizontal stones just over here. Down there we mentioned we can see that circular stone possibly used for food or to collect water.
So let's imagine this together. Let's just say you and I are David, and you've been sent to give food to your siblings, and you find that for 40 days and 40 nights, this Philistine has come to this valley over here, and he's intimidating your people, your brothers and sisters. For David, that he was a warrior in his spirit, and to see Goliath speaking against the God of Israel, there had to be something within him, sort of like a fire that came out of him and said, "No more. We're not going to do this anymore." Who is he to defy the God of the army of Israel? And so instead of caving in to that fear like the rest, he basically said, "I know that we can win this." Because he had that experience with God, he would spend time with God. God would teach him who he is. And he taught him through the attack of the bear and the lion on his sheep. And he realized, it's no different. If I've overcome the bear and the lion, I can do that with Goliath too. And his strength, his bravery was what allowed other people to sort of follow suit. Because the moment that they saw Goliath come down, they went after him as well.
In biblical times, it was very common knowledge that people knew what kind of ground they were on. People knew where to find water. They had experts obviously in the field, but it was general knowledge. So the upper layer of most of the ground, 70% of Israel, is limestone. Underneath we have dolomite. Underneath that we have more limestone. Then we have something called chavar, marl, M-A-R-L. Where the limestone hits the marl, that's the water then slowly comes out. And that's where you can find the water sources. So that was very important. If we're looking at our viewpoint down towards the west over there, we have the sea, we have Ashkelon, Ashdod and Gaza, the three Philistine cities, and they were trying to make their way up toward the mountains to get those beautiful spring waters. And you have beautiful basins and valleys here for great agriculture. So this was fought and sought after land during that period of time. And this was where we are right now it was essential for the security line, because if they made it past here, then they can start marching their way towards Jerusalem. But if we controlled all of the hilltops and the foothills, then we controlled the entranceways to the important Judean cities like Lachish and Jerusalem. Asparagus!
Really?
I found asparagus! Amazing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei prei adama.
Amen.
Delicious. Oh yeah. Oh yeah! The way you pick asparagus is it kind of cracks where she wants to crack. So you see where it's bendy, super bendy. So I'm going to bend it all the way down until she cracks by herself, and that's where I should pick it. Same with this, kind of bend it gently. Bend it gently until she cracks by herself. That's how I know where to pick it. It's about the same length for the size. It's very sweet. You've got to be check for ants, because they love this as well.
Cheers. Cheers. That's really fresh. That's
Good
really
stuff.
nice, yeah. Guys, wild asparagus, who would have known? Levi knows.
Really pretty though. It's pricey.
So we went from up there, down to the valley, because we are in search for stones. We're going to do exactly what David did. Was he fought the way that he knew best. As we said, he was a shepherd boy, and what he would probably do a lot is take these stones and throw them, and he was pretty good at it. So we're going to try and be good at it too, and we're going to search for stones and reenact just how it might have looked or felt.
Could this have been the stone of David?
Could that have been? Let's
It's
see.
a little heavy for us. Let's see.
Let's see.
No, it wasn't that one.
Not that one.
ויקח מלכו בידיו ויבחר לו 5 חלקי אבנים מן הנחל. David went down into the riverbed, here we got a little bit of water, and he found 5 smooth stones for his battle. That's what he decided to choose. Instead of choosing a sword and armor from King Saul, he took these smooth stones. Now, a smooth stone would have been a wise choice for David, because it would cut through the air very fast. David knew as well. Probably a little smaller than this stone. Seems like a very big stone. You can see it's a little rounded and smooth from the weather damage that was here. He picked the 5 stones, and without thinking twice, he chased and rushed the Philistine. And he slings his shot like this. And he probably had to throw it pretty high, because he was supposed to be a giant. Hits him in the middle of the head. Goliath the Philistine goes, oh! And then King David comes, grabs the Philistine's sword, and chops his head up.
Victory.
In this valley.
One thing that I actually do, because I live in a desert, is that I will go out and spend time with God in the desert. And a habit I have is actually releasing my prayers, my fears, my frustrations, all the things through the throwing of stones. You have to be very careful that there's no one around you. When you have sort of physical energy, or you have a physical enemy that you have to charge, that you have to make sure that you have enough courage to actually run like we just did and conquer that big giant, the strength that you actually get is not necessarily from the moment. It's all the times in which you were with God before, and you were with your thoughts, and you had to struggle against them. Because in reality, that big Goliath is taken out by a stone. And we're going to do it right now. And you can literally do this in your own environment, wherever you are. What I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to throw them. And every time I throw them, every time I release that, I'm overcoming and conquering something with God. And you can do it too. It can be your thoughts. It can be your pride. It could be resistance against you. Any type of spiritual battle, you can be like David and fight in the way that he has taught you to fight in your own personal times with him. until all of your spiritual enemies are defeated. It's been such a powerful day learning about King David and how much of a warrior he is. Levi, how do you feel about today?
I think it's such a beautiful opportunity to be here in the same battlefields as King David went in. We see how historically we fought for the faith in one God. The faith in one God actually gave him incredible courage to come out onto the battlefield and kill Goliath, who was 10 times his size, with weapons which were not plausible for even that specific battlefield. But his faith in God pushed him to go forward, and eventually he was successful in it.
Right, so inspirational. It gives strength to us all. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this, because we certainly have. And if you want more Israel-related content, go to allisraelnews.com, hit the notification bell, hit subscribe, and Levi and I will see you in the next one.